Hi everybody, welcome back. So in this video we are going to take a look at the analysis settings. So the first thing to understand about this device is that it's basically doing two different kinds of analysis on top of each other. And to make things easier to follow, let's take a look at this graph. So in the first analysis, what we're doing is we're taking the entire sample and slicing it into smaller chunks. And for each of these chunks, what's happening is that we are performing a fundamental frequency analysis, which means our output is a stream of different frequencies that were detected in this chunk. And this is the first analysis. Now, in the second analysis, what's happening is that the device converts the resulting stream of frequencies into MIDI pitch values, and then it checks whether the resulting stream has a stable or consistent pitch present. So to be more precise, what it does is it computes the standard deviation in semitones and the difference between the mean and the mode. And so if those two values fall below a certain threshold, that chunk becomes one of the output segments, and if it's not, then it moves to the next chunk until it reaches the end of the file. So the reason why I mentioned this is because the settings we specify control not the initial frequency analysis, but the second analysis that is performed on this frequency stream. So with this in mind, we can now take a look at each of these settings individually and explain what they do. So the hop size determines how far apart in time each of the chunks are. So as you can see, the distance here between each of these snapshots is determined by the hop size. This means that a high or a way of thinking about this is that a small hop size will increase the resolution of the analysis in the time domain. Now the overlap factor determines the ratio between the hop size and the chunk's length. So this means that a high overlap factor will make sure that the resulting slices will have a more consistent pitch, but it also may reduce the number of resulting slices. So it's a trade-off to consider, and in the case of this example, we have an overlap factor of 2 because you can see that there's always two samples overlapping with each other. Now the tolerance or error tolerance refers to the threshold that I mentioned earlier, and it determines the maximum amount of pitch deviation in semitones that each chunk can have in order to be selected. So this is also a very useful setting to make sure that you're not being either too flexible with the threshold or too greedy, because a very low tolerance value will mean that it will reduce significantly the amount of slices detected. And lastly, what we have here is the output duration, which, just to clarify, this doesn't actually influence the analysis, but it simply determines how long you want each of the detected slices to be once they're saved. And one last thing to consider is that for obvious reasons, Easy Analyzer doesn't do a very good job with spectrally dense sound files, and it's much more effective with clearly pitched and especially monophonic sounds. So that's why it's very important to develop some intuition behind the analysis settings so that you can actually capture what you are hoping for. Now, I hope this gives you a better idea on how to use Easy Analyzer to build your own corpus. I'll see you in the next video where we'll look at Easy Sampler and start taking advantage of whatever corpus we build. And thanks for watching.